Thanks for joining me on the Listen Up Girl podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. Today's news is about visibility, power, and consequence. From record-breaking LGBTQ plus political participation in the UK to life or death questions around immigration enforcement in the United States to cultural accountability, global queer repression, and the legacy of leaders who changed history by simply showing up as themselves. These are not isolated stories. They are connected by one question: who gets to exist safely, openly, and with dignity, and who is still fighting for that right? So let's get into it. Our first story is the UK, record number of queer and trans candidates ahead of the 2026 elections. The political landscape of the United Kingdom is shifting, and the LGBTQ plus communities, particularly queer and trans people, that shift is historic. New data released this week confirms that a record number of openly queer and trans candidates have been selected to run in May of 2026 local elections across England, Scotland, and Wales. According to reports from LGBT Labour and LGBT Liberal Democrats, there has been a 15% increase in out candidates compared to previous election cycles. What makes this moment especially significant is its breadth. These candidates are not concentrated only in progressive urban centers. They are running in rural councils, market towns, coastal communities, and major metropolitan hubs, signaling a deepening confidence among LGBTQ plus people to step into leadership roles while decisions about housing, education, policing, and healthcare are made. Advocates say this surge reflects both urgency and resilience. In a political climate where trans rights debates have become increasingly hostile in the UK press and parliament, many candidates see local government as the front line, a place where policy meets real life. And this is exactly what we have to do around the world. LGBTQ plus people need to go and run for office. This is a brilliant idea, and we need to do more of this, because if we're not there, we can't count on anybody else. Next, Vermont moves to protect gender-affirming care. In the United States, one state is taking proactive steps to protect trans health care and growing federal uncertainty. In Vermont, lawmakers considering House Bill H576, which would establish an affirming health care trust fund designed to safeguard access to gender-affirming services if federal funding is restricted or withdrawn. The bill would provide financial stability for providers and patients alike, ensuring continuity of care for trans and non-binary residents, including hormone therapy, mental health services, and post-surgical care. Supporters argued the fund is a necessary firewall as federal courts and lawmakers continue to debate the legality of gender-affirming care, particularly for young people. Opponents, meanwhile, claim it could conflict with future federal mandates. For trans Vermonters, the message is clear: this is about survival, not politics. Next, New York City sees explosive growth in bisexual identification. New York City has always been a queer capital, but new data suggests it may be the fastest growing bisexual hub in the world. According to newly released figures from the dating app Fleed, New York City saw a 161% increase in users identifying as bisexual over the past year. Researchers say the spike reflects more than just dating trends. It signals a cultural shift towards fluid identity, greater safety and self-identification, and growing rejection of rigid labels, especially among younger generations. Experts also point to New York's visible queer infrastructure, from nightlife to community organizations, as a factor that allows people to explore identity more openly than in many other regions. Our next story is Andrea Jenkins announces retirement from public office. Andrea Jenkins was a trailblazer, and she is stepping back. She was the first openly Black and trans person elected to public office in the United States and has announced she will retire at the end of her current term on the Minneapolis City Council. Jenkins, now 64, made history with her 2017 election, but behind that victory was a personal battle. That same year, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a degenerative neurological disease that progressively affected her health. In an interview With Minnesota Public Radio, Jenkins said she's ready to return to her first love, writing and poetry. Being in this job didn't really allow me to focus as much time and energy as I wanted to on my creative life. Her legacy includes police reform advocacy, housing justice, and reshaping what leadership looks like in America. Our next story is nationwide protest after ICE agent kills Renee Nicole Good. Grief has turned into mobilization, a mass mobilization. Across the United States, thousands of people have taken to the streets following the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old mother of three, by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent in Minneapolis. Demonstrators gathered under the banner "ICE Out for Good," a slogan that is both a demand and a memorial. According to Divisible, more than 1,000 protests were planned nationwide over the weekend, spanning cities including Minneapolis, Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C., Boston, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake City. Crowds chanted her name, "Say her name, Renee Good," while carrying signs reading "ICE Out" and "Justice for Renee." The Trump administration has claimed the agent acted in self-defense and has controversially described Good as a domestic terrorist, a characterization her family and community strongly reject. In Minneapolis alone, police confirmed nearly 1,000 people gathered, with dozens arrested after being confronted during protest. Meanwhile, Kristi Noem has vowed to deploy hundreds of more federal agents to the city, escalating tensions further. I did a special report on this story yesterday, and this story just really bothers me more than any other story that's come out recently. They are getting away literally with murder, and no one seems to do anything about it. And the FBI has taken the case and will not allow it to be prosecuted or investigated at the local level or the state level. Sanity. This is the beginning of something that has to change very quickly, because if not, we are all in trouble. Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers respond to backlash over Jasmine Crockett comments. In pop culture meets political news, comedians Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers are responding to intense backlash after comments made on their podcasts, La Cultura Vistas. The controversy erupted after Rogers told listeners not to waste money donating to Jasmine Crockett's Senate campaign, a statement Yang initially agreed with on air. Both have since apologized, acknowledging the responsibility that comes from their platform. Rogers called his phrasing not right, while Yang admitted he would not have weighed in so casually. The incident sparked renewed conversations about celebrity influence, progressive infighting, and how political discourse can unintentionally discourage voter engagement. That was by Entertainment Weekly and some Instagram statements that I found that on, and I am so disappointed in Matt Rogers, especially because he is the one, when I watched the video, that was really going after Jasmine Crockett, saying it's a waste of time. It is not a waste of time. She is a very strong woman. We have to back everyone that is on our side in order to make headway. If you keep saying, oh, she can't do it, she's a black woman in Texas, she won't get it, things will never change. Think again, Matt Rogers, before you speak. Think. You can't say things like that. You have a big platform. Use it for good. Next, in the UK, Lord Mandelson speaks on Epstein relationship. Former UK Ambassador Peter Mandelson has given his first major interview since being removed from his diplomatic post over his association with Jeffrey Epstein. In an interview with the BBC, Mandelson claimed that he was kept separate from Epstein's sexual crimes because he is gay, stating he never witnessed abuse and only saw household staff at Epstein's properties. He declined to issue a direct apology to the victims, but expressed regret for a system that failed to protect them. Epstein died, of course, in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. And our last story is Azerbaijan, over 100 detained in a queer nightclub raid. An alarming reminder how dangerous queerness remains in many parts of the world. In Azerbaijan's capital, Baku, police raided the Lambert nightclub, detaining 106 people, most of them LGBTQ+, for more than 12 hours in freezing conditions. According to reporting from Azerbaijan's LGBTQ outlet, detainees were denied water, phone calls, adequate clothing, and restroom access. Some alleged police attempted to coerce testimony against others and demanded bribes for release. Despite homosexuality being legal since 2000, Azerbaijan ranks near the bottom of Europe for LGBTQ+ rights, according to ILGA Europe. One survivor described the experience as a nightmare I can't erase. And those are the stories that remind us how progress is never linear and rights are never guaranteed. From historic wins to devastating losses, from cultural accountability to global repression, the fight for dignity continues everywhere, in council chambers, courtrooms, streets, and nightclubs. And as always, we're here to tell those stories. I am your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. If you have not subscribed to this podcast, please do. These news stories are more important than ever. Please share them with whoever you think would benefit from them, because we need to keep the community informed. I'll be back later this week with more LGBTQ+ news. Thanks for listening.